Well, the end of spring training is here, and it can be a bit of a drag for some. There's all the baggage that comes from spending 6 weeks in Florida. But, you know, it's good baggage, because once the Tigers and Yankees get away from here on getaway day, the regular season awaits in the Bronx. As today, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the Yankees against the Tigers in the final game of spring training from George M. Steinbrenner Field here in Tampa. And great to have you with us as always. Bob Lorenz along with John Flaherty. Looks like we'll get this game in, which is good news, Flash, because last night the Yankees and Rays weren't able to get their game in here. Mother Nature washing that one away. How did that affect some of the players?
You know, but Bob, at this point in spring training, it's all about the pitching staff and making sure they get their pitch count where it needs to be. A.J. Burnett was supposed to be the starter in last night's game. He got some work underneath on the mounds in the batting cage, got his pitch count where he wanted it. He's ready to go.
Now, what about the regulars? Because you know Joe Girardi wanted them to get their reps at the plate.
Yeah, he wanted to give them 3 at-bats last night and maybe only give them 1 at-bat this afternoon. Well, now the plan changes. They're probably going to get 3 at-bats this afternoon.
So we'll see some of the regulars maybe a little longer than we expected to today. Now, one of the big stories in spring camp has been the starting rotation. Who would fill the 4th and 5th spots? Well, we know Ivan Nova locked up the 4th spot with a sensational spring. Then Freddie Garcia and Bartolo Colon, they were up for that 5th spot. It went to Garcia, Flash.
Well, I think Freddie Garcia won that job with those numbers that you see on the screen right there. 12 wins for the White Sox last year, an ERA in the mid-4s. He pitched a bunch of innings, and he proved that he was healthy again. Coming into spring training, the Yankees just wanted to see that. They wanted to see some health, and they got it. He's a contact pitcher, has a good slider, will get some ground balls, has a decent changeup, actually one that backs up there. He picks up a strikeout. He can locate his fastball, not overpowering anymore, and he's got a quality changeup. A perfect guy for the Yankees in that 5th spot in the rotation. Should get a lot of run support this year.
So we'll get one final look at Freddie Garcia getting the start today before the regular season begins, and he will be opposed by young right-hander Rick Porcello for the Tigers. Speaking of one final look, it's one final look for Yankees fans at their favorite stars on the field today. We've got starting lineups and first pitch coming up next from Tampa.
You folks have any questions? Just let me know.
It really is a great time to buy. Honda's got more #1 bestsellers than any other car maker.
Wow, really big buttons. Nice.
Tie's crooked.
Hurry into Honda's Really Big Things sales event. For great leases and low financing, see your Honda dealer.
I thought if you had an older home, there was no way you could reduce your energy costs.
Boy, was I wrong.
We had our house performance tested by a contractor certified by the Building Performance Institute.
We found a host of problems that could be corrected.
They showed us what it would cost
And how much we'd save this year.
and for years to come. We've reduced our energy use 45 to 50%.
And it's good for the environment.
How can you beat that?
For more true stories of how New Yorkers are saving energy, log on to getenergysmart.org.
While others are content to imitate, we'll continue to innovate. The Lexus RX. Why settle for a copy when you can own the original? Lease the 2011 RX 350 for $469 a month for 36 months, with $39.44 due at signing. See your Lexus dealer.
Bedbugs can be everywhere and anywhere. They can hide in your furniture or electronics of your office or home. And we know that there are other methods to treat bedbugs, but you can't use chemicals or heat to treat electronics. Don't compound your problem by damaging your property. Bring in the experts. Call Bell Environmental and our bedbug dog Roscoe will find the problem. We use Instant Freeze, which is the only way to treat all your belongings safely. Stop playing around and call Bell Environmental.
Is the pressure of paying your credit card bills overwhelming you? Are you behind on your mortgage or struggling financially? Have you turned to debt settlement companies only to find your credit rating ruined and your debt increased?
Anyone can find themselves in financial difficulty. It's natural to be overwhelmed by debt you can't afford, harassing phone calls, repossession, and foreclosure notices. Of course, you would try almost anything to resolve your debt, which leaves you vulnerable to the false promises of unscrupulous debt settlement companies. Fortunately, there's a legal way out of debt, through bankruptcy, and my law firm can help you. Our bankruptcy lawyers have helped thousands of clients just like you, get the fresh start you deserve. Don't be a victim any longer. Let bankruptcy help you take control of your life and your finances. After all, bankruptcy is not the end, it's a new beginning.
For your free consultation, call the law offices of David I. Pankin, PC at 888-LAW-9600. That's 888-529-9600.
Well, today's game on Yes is brought to you in part by Nissan. Get to the Nissan Now sales event for the Nissan you want. Visit choosenissan.com or your local dealer now. By NYSERDA, energy, innovation, solutions. And by Cadillac. Visit CadillacTristate.com to find a dealer near you. Let's check out today's Tigers starting lineup, presented by Lexus. And a familiar face for those who dig into the Yankees farm system, Austin Jackson leading things off for the Tigers, the former Yankee farmhand. He'll lead off, play center. Will Rhymes is at second, batting second. Maglio Ordonez will play right field today. Miguel Cabrera is at first base. Victor Martinez is the DH. Brennan Bosch will play field and bat sixth. Johnny Peralta is at short. Alex Avila is at the catcher today, batting eighth. And Brandon Inge will play third and round out the Tigers starting lineup.
The Tiger lineup going to face Freddie Garcia today. Has the honor of pitching the last spring training game here in Tampa. Take a look at his numbers from spring training. 1-1 in ERA, just under 6. Only 2 walks in 13 2/3 innings. We'll take a look at our scouting report on Freddie Garcia. It is official now. He will be the 5th starter for the New York Yankees. And he earned that job on his body of work last year with the White Sox. 12 wins. And a nice opportunity for him, really, to resurrect his career. You got to believe he's going to get some run support in that 5th spot in the rotation. Could build on the 12 wins from last year.
And here's the defense that will play behind Freddie Garcia this afternoon. All the regulars in there for the Yankees. In left field, with the exception maybe of Curtis Granderson. In left field, Andrew Jones. In center, Brett Gardner. And in right field is Nick Swisher. Around the infield, A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira. Russell Martin behind the plate. And Freddie Garcia on the mound. Now let's take a look at the game time weather conditions now, presented by Toyota. And again, the thunderstorms that swept through here last night have given way to partly cloudy skies. 78 degrees here in Tampa, 42 and sunny back in the Bronx. And these players, as we talked about last night on our spring training report flash, they are ready to get back to the Bronx and start the regular season.
Well, they really are. I mean, last night was a rain out. Not a big deal for the Yankees. They've had a great spring weather-wise. It was a big deal for A.J. Burnett to get his pitch count up, which he did. But Joe Girardi looking on today, I think the main concern, get a couple of at-bats, get Freddie Garcia his work, and most importantly, get everybody out of here healthy.
Well, Austin Jackson will lead things off for the Tigers in his first season since coming over in the Curtis Granderson trade last year. 103 runs scored, 27 stolen bases. He'd like to follow up what he did last year, batting .293. What he'd like to not follow up on is the amount of strikeouts that he had, 170 in that leadoff position. And here we go, first pitch. And it's in for a strike.
Well, Freddie Garcia, I mentioned the 5th spot in the rotation. Always felt like that was a great place to be. And the fact that the expectations aren't going to be real high. Just go out there and get your innings in, stay healthy. You got to believe you're going to be in line for a lot of wins with the offense for the Yankees.
And Garcia missing away 1 and 2. And tries an off-speed pitch away again. Evens the count.
Was talking to some of the people around the Tigers this morning, and they were asking about Freddie Garcia. What's he going to throw? And I say he'll throw anything. Curveball. We've seen the slider. Fastball just misses. You see the velocity, upper 80s. But a veteran pitcher will find a way to get some outs, facing a tough Tiger club managed by Jim Leyland.
And Garcia, fastball, and strikes out Austin Jackson here to start things.
Got ahead in the count quick, and then missed with a couple off-speed pitches, but comes back and locates a fastball perfectly down and away. Nice catch by Russell Martin. Nice frame. Gives home plate umpire Chad Fairchild a good look.
And that'll bring up Will Rhymes. Rhymes playing second base. Knocked in 5 runs this spring, batting .328. A little foul ball. You know, the one thing Garcia always around the plate, isn't he? Always, you know, you don't see any crazy pitches. Rarely does he bounce one.
He's always around the plate. I mentioned he's going to throw anything. Oh, that was a good curveball right there. He's got a nice slider, a changeup. He'll mix in a split every now and again, depending on how he's feeling. But, you know, you just watch a veteran pitcher, as Larry Rothschild has watched all spring. He's got a good rhythm with Russell Martin out there. He works fast, a lot of strikes, will be successful.
And ground ball to short. Jeter on to first, 2 outs.
We mentioned the rain out last night, and the regulars kind of get one of those nights off. You get a little work in the cage, but you don't have to come out here and play a game for a couple hours. But now this afternoon, you'll get a few more at-bats for some of the regulars, maybe 5 innings. But like I mentioned, Joe Girardi just wants to make sure this club gets off the field healthy today, get on that plane back to New York, and look forward to a workout tomorrow.
And there's Maglio Ordonez, and Garcia starts him off with a breaking ball, 69 miles an hour. Flash, how important is that differential? What does it need to be in terms of speed between the fastball and the changeup or the off-speed stuff?
Well, you mostly like 15 miles an hour off of the fastball and the changeup, you know, and that curveball a little bit more, which is good. And I think Mike Mussina showed us that you can be effective with the lack of velocity as long as you take something off your off-speed pitches to get that good difference, a good separation.
And Garcia looking for that outside corner again, misses 2-1.
You know, a lot of talk with Bartolo Colon, who should have won this 5th spot in the rotation, and I actually believe that Bartolo pitched better and should have won it, but you understand the Yankee feeling. He hasn't pitched innings. Garcia has. You know what you're going to get from him.
And that ball lifted up to the left side of the infield. Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter there. Jeter calls off A-Rod, tosses the ball to him, wraps up a 1-2-3 first inning for Fred Garcia. Yankees first at bats coming up.
You either have it or you don't. Experience the graceful control, exceptional grip, and superior handling of a Mercedes-Benz 4MATIC, one of the most advanced all-wheel drive systems ever made. Available on 9 different model lines. See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for exceptional offers through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services.
I got this new Citi thank you card and started earning loads of points.
Okay, we'll leave that there for now. Put this on.
You got a weather balloon with points.
Yes, I did.
Points I could use for just about anything.
There it is.
So I used mine to get a whole new perspective. The new Citi Thank You Premier Card gives you more ways to earn points. What's your story? Citi can help you write it.
It's amazing what the right key can do for you. Whether it's getting to work or as far from it as possible. And now that Chevy Truck Month is here, it's time to get the keys that you can depend on. During Chevy Truck Month, qualified buyers get 0% APR financing for 60 months on a 2011 Tahoe.
Find your nearest dealer on ChevyOffers.com.
The food of choice for some. Comes in pink, comes in blue. Yankee blue, a lighter Yankee blue. As we head to the bottom of the first, today's Yankee starting lineup presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner leading things off playing center. Derek Jeter batting second at short. Mark Teixeira is at first base. Alex Rodriguez batting cleanup at third. Robinson Cano will bat fifth. Nick Swisher's out at right field today. Jorge Posada is the DH. Andrew Jones is out in left, and Russell Martin will do the catching.
The Yankee lineup going to face young right-hander Rick Porcello. Been around for a few years now, had a great rookie season, and you see the numbers for spring training. Not too bad. 9 walks and 22 in the third. Wants to clean that up a little bit. Opponents hitting .291. Our scouting report, he had a little sophomore slump last year, 10 and 12 with a 4.4. But he has a power sinker looking to rebound, and he will miss the Bombers first time around. Will not pitch in New York this weekend.
Of course, the season opener, 1 o'clock game on Thursday in the Bronx against these Tigers. Then they have Friday off, finish up that 3-game series Saturday and Sunday.
Got a pregame show before the opener, right?
Hour-long Tri-State Ford pregame. Jack Curry on the field with me. Michael Kay, Ken Singleton, Kim Jones.
Well, they're letting you out of the studio.
They're letting the animal out of the cage. Gardner to short, and on to first for 1 out.
Well, Bob, one of the interesting things in spring training, I don't think I've ever seen the last game of spring training where the club that you're playing is the club you're going to open up against. Obviously playing the Tigers here in Tampa. Both clubs will fly to New York, have workouts at Yankee Stadium tomorrow, then open up on Thursday. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
It gives you a little feel for what's ahead over the course of the next 5 days as Porcello faces Derek Jeter. And first pitch misses.
I guess not a real big deal in that the pitchers who are throwing today are not going to face these teams over the weekend, Porcello and Garcia. That would be your first concern. Good slider right there. I mentioned in the scouting report, Porcello last year was very impressed in spring training with his good power sinker. That was an outstanding slider to go with it.
And chopper foul. You mentioned his breakout season as a rookie, 14 wins, and his sophomore slump, 10 wins last year, an ERA near 5. Can you put your finger on why he took that step back?
Well, you know what? It's tough in the major leagues, obviously, to have a lot of success, and every year is different. I think maybe the league caught up with him a little bit, and has to work on his secondary pitches. He spent some time in the minor leagues, but when you have a sinker that is that good, there's a straight 4-seam fastball up in the zone. Sometimes you fall in love with it. You won 14 games with it, but you have to come up with a different plan to get some major league hitters out a few times through a lineup.
Chopper to short, Peralta again, 2 outs. Let's take a look at the Tigers defense backing up Rick Porcello today. In left field, Brennan Bosch. Center, Austin Jackson. Right field, Maglio Ordonez. Around the infield, it's Inge, Peralta, Rhymes, and Cabrera. And Alex Avila behind the plate. And that brings up Mark Teixeira. Tex a .306 spring. A homer and 7 runs batted in. And when Kim Jones talked to him yesterday on our spring training report, she got into detail with him about his offseason and how he changed things. A little less working out, heavy lifting, a lot more swinging. He hopes that'll help jumpstart him in April.
Well, he's had the good spring training here in Tampa. Now he's hoping that when he shows up Thursday and steps into that batter's box at Yankee Stadium, you have that same feel and get off to a good start. I think more importantly than anybody else in this lineup, if he can have a good opening day and kind of get the media away from some of the questions, could change his April. Well, you see it all the time, though, Bob. The players will have great spring trainings, get off to a slow start. Then players who have terrible spring trainings get off to good starts.
And Teixeira lifting one out to left. Bosch is there. And a 1-2-3 inning for Porcello as well. As we go to the top of the second, still scoreless in Tampa.
While others are content to imitate, we'll continue to innovate. The Lexus RX. Why settle for a copy when you can own the original? Lease the 2011 RX 350 for $469 a month for 36 months with $39.44 due at signing. See your Lexus dealer.
You want amazing? You need NBA League Pass.
Amazing can happen any night.
so you better watch.
Get NBA League Pass and you get NBA League Pass broadband so you can follow your favorites.
Watch your favorite teams, your favorite players, wherever you are.
Don't miss a minute of amazing with NBA League Pass.
If you love basketball, you need NBA League Pass. Now that's amazing.
Get NBA League Pass for the Race to the Playoffs offer of $49 on DirecTV. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS.
Is the pressure of paying your credit card bills overwhelming you? Are you behind on your mortgage or struggling financially? Have you turned to debt settlement companies only to find your credit rating ruined and your debt increased?
Anyone can find themselves in financial difficulty. It's natural to be overwhelmed by debt you can't afford, harassing phone calls, repossession, and foreclosure notices. Of course, you would try almost anything to resolve your debt, which leaves you vulnerable to the false promises of unscrupulous debt settlement companies. Fortunately, there's a legal way out of debt through bankruptcy, and my law firm can help you. Our bankruptcy lawyers have helped thousands of clients just like you get the fresh start you deserve. Don't be a victim any longer. Let bankruptcy help you take control of your life and your finances. After all, bankruptcy is not the end, it's a new beginning.
For your free consultation, call the law offices of David I. Pankin, PC at 888-LAW-9600. That's 888-529-9600.
Well, Yankees opening day is just 2 days away when the Yankees kick off their 2011 season against the Tigers in the Bronx. Complete coverage on Yes starts at noon with an extended Tri-State Ford pregame, and then Michael Kay and Ken Singleton bring you all the action from Yankee Stadium. Tigers-Yankees opening day coverage starts Thursday at noon, only on Yes. Top of the second here in Tampa, the 4-5-6 hitters for the Tigers as Freddie Garcia starts things off against Miguel Cabrera, and quickly behind 2-0.
Well, dangerous count to any hitter, 2-0, but especially Cabrera. Numbers in spring training outstanding. For a guy who's had his problems at the beginning of spring, it has not affected his game on the field. 4 home runs, 16 RBIs.
There's a 4-pitch walk to lead things off on the top of the second. Well, Cabrera's a guy, obviously, offensively, they rely on heavily. A guy they'll ask to shoulder some of the load in that lineup, too, is the man stepping up, Victor Martinez. The DH, he'll do a little bit of catching, play some first base for him, but one of their off-season acquisitions, along with pitchers Brad Penny and Joaquin Benoit.
Well, you're right, going to give Cabrera a little bit of protection in this lineup, and folks around the Tigers say maybe 60 games behind the plate is what they're thinking going in.
And a chopper to the right side, foul.
Actually thought he did a pretty decent job last year with the Red Sox behind the plate. The numbers the last 4 years, always been an outstanding offensive player. 73 games in 2008. I thought he did a pretty decent job behind the plate. I mean, his throwing got a little bit better. Gary Tuck, the catching instructor with the Red Sox, did a nice job with him, but the Tigers opting for the DH, first base, and catching a little bit.
And Mark Teixeira off his glove. He will settle for the out at first as the runner advances.
Well, very unusual for Mark Teixeira. I mean, it was pretty much a routine ground ball. A little bit to his left. I think he's thinking about going to second base. Obviously, when he bobbles it, he takes the sure out at first. Such a good defender. When you see him have trouble with a routine play like that, it really opens up your eyes.
Well, here's Brennan Bosch with Cabrera on second. Bosch, another hitter, having a nice spring for the Tigers. 338, 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in.
They say that he's going to be in a little platoon situation with Casper Wells.
Bosch hard hit to right, but hooking foul.
Bosch really burst onto the scene last year, got off to a great start, and then again the league caught up with him a little bit, made some adjustments, and now good sign for the Tigers coming back in spring training. You mentioned his numbers, Bob, pretty impressive. 338 coming in, 3 home runs, 9 RBI, so he's figured it out. Fighting for at-bats.
Garcia misses inside, 2-1.
Freddie Garcia's got just enough of the velocity on the fastball that players have to respect it. Upper 80s, does a nice job kind of showing it inside, makes you think about it. And then you can go to an off-speed pitch away.
And a grounder to second. Cano on to first as Cabrera advances to third. 2 outs.
That's what Yankee fans are going to see from Garcia. A little show the fastball inside and then go with a little sinker down and away. Get yourself a ground ball. A lot of fun for Russell Martin to catch. You kind of have to think along with him. He sets this up with a fastball inside the pitch before, and then it's a little tailing fastball down and away. Gets a ground ball. These are the guys that are fun to catch. They don't have the overpowering stuff. You have to think along with them.
And Johnny Peralta looks at a breaking ball, strike one. If you're catching him, what does it mean knowing that you can trust him if you need to come inside, respect that inside part of the plate, you know he can put it there?
Yeah, that's the difference, because if you have a young kid, you don't know if he's going to be able to throw the ball where he wants to in off the plate to set a pitch up maybe 2 or 3 pitches later. Well, I mentioned Russell Martin has to be enjoying this. I mean, you get ahead in the count 0-2. Now you have plenty of options with a veteran pitcher. You can show a fastball inside off the plate to set up a breaking ball away. You can go right to the breaking ball, know it's going to be down in the zone.
And a breaking ball away, and just like that, Garcia ends things here for the Tigers in the top of the second. Cabrera stranded at third. Garcia with a strikeout to Peralta to end the inning. We head to the bottom of the second.
The New York Yankees are great moments.
Swung on and line to left field. Down the line, it is gone! It's a walk-off by Mark Teixeira.
Fans, come out to Yankee Stadium for a special giveaway commemorating the start of the 2011 season on Monday, April 4th, when the Yankees play the Twins. All guests in attendance will receive a commemorative 2011 Yankees cap, courtesy of H&R Block.
The New York Yankees, a proud tradition, a legendary history.
Luxury everywhere you look. First of its kind technology. When your heart and head are saying the same thing, listen.
It's the final days of the Lincoln Spring Forward event. One last opportunity at an attractive sign and drive lease with 4 years complimentary maintenance.
It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that.
Life is always moving us forward, leading us down paths we never imagined. For over 150 years, Wells Fargo has been moving forward with our customers, creating financial tools for the twists and turns of life.
Now that Wachovia is Wells Fargo in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, we're with you when you're ready to move forward.
Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far.
Get to Nissan now for the offer you need on the Nissan you want. This is Nissan Now. Get special pricing on our full line. Sedans, trucks and SUVs, crossovers. Now, lease Altima, just $189. Or Rogue, just $199. Visit ChooseNissan.com or see your local Nissan dealer today. Event ends March 31st. Get in now.
As we head to the bottom of the second, Alex Rodriguez about to step in, and he really stepped into this one back on Saturday, Flash.
Well, you see the good extension and then look in the dugout. He knew he got all of it over the batter's eye in center field. Obviously an impressive home run.
We didn't officially have a chance to get out there and get the tape measure out, but we estimated about 440 feet. It's 408 to center. He cleared the screen. It's a towering shot. So Alex enjoying a terrific spring. That was his 6th home run, by the way. 14 runs batted in, batting .404. And beyond the numbers, the health, I think, is key for him coming into this season. As he lifts one out to right. Ordonez is over. Out number 1.
Well, the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, batting over 400. You mentioned the 6 home runs. But even just talking to Alex the other day, just seems to be in a real good mood. Health is obviously a factor. Well, it was the first thing he said to you and I, that, you guys do a great job on TV, so obviously I'm a big fan of Alex Rodriguez now. But this was generally in very good spirits, looking forward to the season, and had a great spring.
One of the reasons he doesn't have to spend his time rehabbing that hip injury. He was saying that it's just he was able to work with Kevin Long and just concentrate on hitting, which he loves to do. Robinson Cano, first pitch swinging, grounder to second, Rhymes on to first, 2 outs.
Well, this is Porcello at his best, a good sinking fastball, a lot of ground balls this afternoon so far, 3 already. Robinson Cano aggressive, swinging at the first pitch. It's a good sinking power sinker down and away. Robinson hits it well, but right at Rhymes.
And with 2 outs, here's Nick Swisher. Swisher so far this spring hitting .250, a homer, 8 runs batted in. A couple weeks ago we were talking about who do you like in that second spot? Is it Curtis Granderson? Is it Nick Swisher? And when the season begins, it looks like it might be Derek Jeter instead.
Yeah, Joe Girardi tinkering with the lineup a little bit.
Base hit to right.
And it'll be interesting to see where Nick Swisher hits. I mean, a nice job right there getting ahead in the count, getting a fastball and taking care of it. They did such a great job in the number 2 hole, had a fantastic season last year. Now it looks like he might be hitting down in the lineup a little bit more. But as long as you get ahead in the count, you hunt a fastball. Ooh, nice swing there. If you're Nick, you just want to take that into opening day on Thursday. Always felt like this last game of spring training, Bob, you always wanted to have those positive thoughts. A couple of good at-bats where mentally you say, you know what, I'm ready to go. You don't want to go into opening day struggling.
Well, here's Jorge Posada. Posada, a homer, 7 runs batted in during the spring.
Yeah, this would be one of those games for Jorge, that batting average just over 200, and obviously a veteran hitter knows what he's doing. Get a couple of good at-bats.
Making good at-bat right there. Base hit out into right center field. Swisher will advance to third. And Posada's aboard with a base hit. Runners at the corners.
Just hit that line drive right back up the middle. Put some positive thoughts in your head that I'm ready to go for opening day. And this is how you stay on a sinking fastball and drive it right back up the middle, not thinking about pulling it. Middle of the field. That's what you want to bottle up right there. That swing, that thought for Jorge. Get on a plane, get ready for opening day.
And now another guy who'd like to get some positive thoughts going into the season, Andrew Jones. Jones this spring batting .171, the chop in the third, short hop by Inge on to first, and that'll do it. So the Yankees strand a couple runners here after successive base hits by Nick Swisher and Jorge Posada. We are headed to the top of the third.
How can your car respond to over 10,000 voice commands? Get the all-new Ford Edge with My Ford Touch. It even reads your text messages. During the Leadership Sales Drive, lease an all-new Edge for just $239 a month. Smartest crossover. Phenomenal deal at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Weeknights, Lou Dobbs is back to business. Hard-hitting interviews, sharp market insight, in-depth analysis with a critical eye on events shaping today's most important stories. Weeknights, Dobbs is back to business, going back-to-back with one of the most experienced names in business journalism, Neil Cavuto. 2 trusted names, 1 powerful network. When it comes to covering business, these guys are all business. Only on Fox Business Network, giving you the power to prosper.
You either have it or you don't. Experience the graceful control, exceptional grip, and superior handling of a Mercedes-Benz 4MATIC, one of the most advanced all-wheel drive systems ever made. Available on 9 different model lines. See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for exceptional offers through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services.
I thought if you had an older home, there was no way you could reduce your energy costs.
Boy, was I wrong.
We had our house performance tested by a contractor certified by the Building Performance Institute.
We found a host of problems that could be corrected.
They showed us what it would cost
And how much we'd save this year.
and for years to come. We've reduced our energy use 45 to 50%.
And it's good for the environment.
How can you beat that?
For more true stories of how New Yorkers are saving energy, log on to getenergysmart.org.
Leadership isn't given, it's earned. And the all-new Ford Edge is a proven leader with the best fuel economy in its class. During our leadership sales drive, you can lease an all-new Edge for just $239 a month. Unbeatable value, incredible deal at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Scoreless in Tampa, top of the third. And the 8-9-1 hitters for the Tigers. Alex Avila will lead things off. And looks at a strike from Freddie Garcia.
Well, it's an interesting situation with Victor Martinez. They're thinking maybe 60 games behind the plate. If Avila can hit this year, obviously good news for the Tigers. Could keep Martinez at first or DH a little bit more.
There's that looping breaking ball, 71 miles an hour and in for a strike.
Good call right there and a good pitch. 86 miles an hour. Russell Martin wanted it up in the zone on an 0-2 count just to show Avila a little bit different. Usually after that you might see a curveball down, changing the eye level. Freddie Garcia can also try to freeze him inside. Just like the thought process behind the play from Russell Martin. Change the eye level with the fastball, although it's only 86 miles an hour, a useful pitch.
Another breaking ball and base hit to left for Avila.
Well, the right idea, you show a fastball up in the zone, you come back with a curveball, but it was kind of just a roller, and Avila did a nice job staying on it, driving it the other way. See, it doesn't have that real good bite. Wanted it down a little bit more. You see the frustration from Freddie Garcia. It's the right idea, just didn't execute.
Well, with the man aboard, Brandon Inge digs in, a 220 spring. And a swing and a miss.
Hey, look at this lineup, Bob. Not a bad guy to have hitting ninth for the Detroit Tigers. Inge has some pop in his bat, third baseman. 13 home runs last year, 70 RBIs for Jim Leyland. High hopes for in Detroit this year. You know, American League Central. I think they got a chance to win it.
We saw him spend some money in the offseason. Again, the acquisition of Victor Martinez, Benoit, Penny, bringing some veterans in. And because of that, the expectations are there. You have veterans like that. It is a win now type club.
Well, Jim Leyland, one of the best managers in all of baseball, obviously. And health always a factor. But Phil Koch, who Yankee fans remember, relief pitcher, will be starting this year. It'll be interesting to see how he does in the rotation.
And driven out to center field, Gardner chasing into the gap. That'll chase Avila back to first. One out. Well, today's game on Yes is brought to you in part by the all-new Chevy Cruze. Visit ChevyOffers.com. And the skies have cleared here in Tampa. Again, after thunderstorms swept through. I think last night we had one burst of thunder and lightning that was, and you lived in Tampa, I lived in Atlanta, one of the loudest we have ever heard. We may have jumped, or it may have been the ground shaking underneath us.
No, I'll admit it, I jumped.
So with one out, back to the top of the order, and Austin Jackson. And driving one out to right field, Nick Swisher tracking to the front of the warning track, mid-track, and it's like he's fighting off the sun a little bit. But makes the catch for the second out.
Again, it's that looping curveball from Freddie Garcia, and Jackson does a nice job staying on it. Kind of just rolls in there. And Nick Swisher, playing a little bit shallow, has to retreat on the warning track right up against the wall. Jackson showing a little bit more pop than I thought he had right there, and maybe Nick Swisher thought he had.
Here's Will Rhymes, grounded to short his first time up. And a hot shot to the right side and a base hit. So as Avila advances to second, first and second, 2 outs.
The dangerous part of the lineup for the Detroit Tigers, Ordonez, Cabrera, and Martinez, 3, 4, and 5. Expected to do a lot of damage in the American League Central.
And Garcia misses 1-0. Ordonez popped up to short his first time up. How much does the thought process change in terms of approaching hitters when you get to the heart of the lineup, or does it?
Oh, there's definitely a lot more respect. I mean, a guy like Will Rhymes comes up there and Garcia throws a fastball pretty much down the middle with 2 outs and lets him hit it, and he hits a base hit. The problem is a guy like Ordonez, if you do the same thing, it's a 3-run homer, so there's obviously a lot more respect. This is where the experience of a veteran pitcher like Garcia, not giving in, maybe throwing an off-speed pitch and a fastball count. Came right with his fastball. He's proud of it today, 88. Nice location off the plate away.
And a 2-2 count here on Ordonez. 2 outs and runners at first and second. And Garcia trying to get him to bite on that outside breaking ball. 3-2.
Well, it's going to be interesting, Bob, to see how it all plays out with Garcia. I mean, in that 5th spot, we talked about it. Not really a lot of expectations, but a great place to pitch for a veteran pitcher. If you can keep the Yankees in some games, you know, throw your 5-6 innings and keep them in it, you're going to get a lot of wins with this lineup. Be interesting to see how the whole thing plays out.
We also know that with the Yankees bullpen improved, that certainly helps the situation even more. If it is a 5 or 6 inning stint for Freddie Garcia or any one of the other starters, you've got Soriano out there, Mo, a healthy Jabba, David Robertson, Boone Logan. Some great options for Joe Girardi to go to.
Yeah, I guess the one disappointment, Pedro Feliciano will probably start the year on the disabled list, or will start it on the DL.
And they check, see if there's a swing. No swing. So that's a walk, and it loads the bases.
Going to get a look here with Maglio Ordonez. First base umpire Manny Gonzalez did not think that he swung. Russell Martin asking for a little check. A side angle, pretty good call. But again, Freddie Garcia in a 3-2 count, not giving in, goes with the slider down and away and misses.
And now with the bases loaded and 2 outs, it's Miguel Cabrera, who walked in his first at bat. This one lifting it out to right. Nick Swisher tracking into the corner and watches it go foul into the bullpen.
It's one of those plays right there. I'm sure Joe Girardi saying, just don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. Nick Swisher going to the fence in front of the bullpen. The last thing you want to see is one of these fly balls where you go into the bullpen, you flip over, you get hurt, and you say, no, I'm not going to do it today. I want to get to New York healthy. Smart play.
And 0-2. Hot shot to second, but Robbie Cano right there for the final out. So Garcia strands the Tigers with the bases loaded, and we're on to the bottom of the third.
The New York Yankees are the history of baseball.
See ya! Alex Rodriguez, the youngest man ever to get to 600 home runs.
Fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Tuesday, April 5th for Insulated Can Cooler Night. The first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees insulated can cooler, courtesy of Pepsi Max.
The New York Yankees, a proud tradition, a legendary history.
The sounds of spring. It's a symphony best appreciated at full blast. The moment you've been waiting for has arrived. Spring's best event from Cadillac. But like the beauty of spring, it won't last long.
Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer or CadillacTristate.com for this exceptional offer.
Life is always moving us forward, leading us down paths we never imagined. For over 150 years, Wells Fargo has been moving forward with our customers, creating financial tools for the twists and turns of life.
Now that Wachovia is Wells Fargo in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, we're with you when you're ready to move.
469-9849. Bottom of the third in a scoreless game here in Tampa. And Rick Porcello going to work against Russell Martin. Martin's had a busy spring. Trying to get his reps in hitting, give him a little offense, but we know it's all about getting to know the pitchers. And you talked about how he's working with Freddie Garcia right now. End of spring, he's had a chance to get a feel for all these guys.
Yeah, and I think it's been a good spring for him. A base hit there to right field as far as health is concerned. You know, he had some knee problems. Looks like he is healthy and ready to go. Actually got a nice scouting report on Russell Martin from Mike Borzello, who works with the catchers in LA with the Dodgers. A nice job of hitting there, fighting off a fastball the other way. And he said, you know what, Russell will do a nice job behind the plate, throws well, 36%, 39% the last couple of years, so he can control a running game. And it's all about hitting, you know, kind of getting back to that swing of driving the ball the other way, and a good sign right there for Russell Martin, hitting it the other way.
Back to the top of the order, and Brett Gardner, who grounded to short in his first at bat.
Brett playing center field today, and it sounds like Curtis Granderson maybe in a minor league game today, trying to get some at bats. Good news for the Yankees.
And driven to the gap in right center field, just dropping over the head of Rhymes, and that'll advance Martin to second. So a couple quick base hits here, bottom of the third, and the Yankees have two aboard.
Thing of beauty for Brett Gardner. We talked about the sinking fastball. Runs right off the end of the bat, a big swing. Ordonez trying to make up some ground, cannot do it. Back-to-back base hits here to start the third.
So the Yanks are in business, a chance to get on the board first in this game. And Derek Jeter is up, grounded to short his first at bat.
Derek looking for his first RBI of the spring, batting average at .321. Swinging the bat well.
And Porcello misses away 2-0. He worked with Kevin Long a couple times in the offseason, hoping that the adjustments that they made in his swing will pay off.
You know, being lucky enough to play with Derek for a few years, he's not a hitter that thinks about mechanics as Kevin Long looking on. So it's a big adjustment for him. I mean, Derek going up there thinking about the stride. Good sinker. I think now at this point in spring training, as you look at that front foot, really not traveling at all, which is good news for Derek Jeter. But I think at this point in spring training, Bob, it's kind of mindless now. You know, the reps have been there. The game situations have been there. He's had a good spring, 321 coming into this at bat. Now it's back to the old Derek Jeter. Just see the ball and hit it hard. A lot of confusion here with Porcello and Avila behind the plate.
It's like we hit the reset button a couple times there before we go here. 2-1 to Derek Jeter. A little chopper back to the mound. Porcello's only play is to first, but it advances the runners.
Yankees birthday, number 25, Mark Teixeira.
That'll bring up Mark Teixeira, who flew out to left field his first time up. And as Derek looks for a bounce back year from the average that he had last year, and you talk about guys being healthy, we talked about Alex Rodriguez last year, limited in games, but still drove in a lot of runs. And if this team is healthy, it makes you wonder what kind of numbers can that offense put up? How many runs a game can they score?
It's always the best time of the year, the end of spring training, so much anticipation to the year. You know, can we keep guys healthy? What can they do if they are healthy? Who's going to have a big year? Who maybe is going to take a step backwards?
You look at the way health impacts teams, and look at the Phillies right now. Everybody said they were a shoo-in to win the National League East with that pitching staff they have. They've got Chase Utley injured. Brad Lidge, their closer, is on the shelf, so they've got some injury concerns to deal with in Philly.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up. I had a talk with, you know, Gene Michael, Stick Michael, before the game, talking about this last game of spring training, how all the players are ready to get out of here. And he was saying he never put any stock in wins and losses in spring training with a veteran club. He said if you have a veteran team and they come out of the game healthy, that's a win. That's a good day. And all in all, I think the Yankees are probably pretty pleased at where they are health-wise. Obviously, Granderson sounds like he might be returning soon. Feliciano going to be a little bit longer.
Well, Granderson, too, and talking to Joe Girardi last night, probably a little sooner than everybody expected.
Yeah, and those oblique injuries are obviously a tough thing to deal with. You have to be careful, but Curtis feels good. Going to get some at-bats today in a minor league game.
So he's gone beyond the broomstick, swinging the broomstick.
Yeah.
Runners at second and third, and one out. Teixeira on a 3-1 pitch. Driven out to right field. And Ordonez will be a spectator on that one. Unfortunately, it just hooked foul up into the pavilion and right. Teixeira almost just reaching out and knocking that one out to right field.
It's a veteran hitter right there. Gets himself in a fastball count. He knows he's probably going to see something moving away from him. So he just reaches out and tries to hook a ball right field. Good extension. Had enough on it. Just pulled it a little bit foul.
Teixeira on a 3-2. And Porcello misses, and the Yankees have the bases loaded. Russell Martin on third, Brett Gardner on second. And Mark Teixeira now aboard at first base after the walk. And with one out, Alex Rodriguez comes to the plate. Flew out to right field his first time up. And first pitch swinging, fouled away.
Well, good situation here for Alex Rodriguez. Obviously, the bases loaded. Grand slams during the regular season, the most all-time, just behind Lou Gehrig. But a good at-bat because it keeps you mentally locked in here, Bob, in a spring training game where sometimes that concentration can waver a little bit. You have a chance to put your team up on the board, drive in a couple of runs. One of those at-bats, if you have a productive at-bat, a base hit or an extra base hit, you know, the manager might actually think and say, you know what, that's enough. You take that into opening day. Positive thoughts.
Swing and a miss, strike two.
That's a good pitch from Porcello, and this is maybe why he's going to have a little rebound year. He mentioned the power sinker all afternoon. But if you can throw this slider in that location, you're going to have a lot of success. Good pitch.
And this is low and in, 2-2.
Saw Porcello last spring, and he threw like 5 innings, and it was 95% fastball. Just came right at the Yankees. A lot of ground balls. Looks like a different pitcher now. More off-speed pitches and a good combination, sinker slider.
Fouled away.
Whenever I see Alex Rodriguez foul off that fastball inside, it's always good news for him. I mean, you know, anybody, any hitter at the major leagues, you can get in on their hands, jam them. They hit some weak ground balls. But when Alex is right, he's able to fight that ball off, foul it off, and give himself another pitch to see.
And fouled away again.
Like a little change up there. Jim Leland looking on. So Alex has pretty much seen it all this at bat. A couple of sinkers in, a slider down and away, a changeup away, and he's fought off all of them. See what Porcello comes with here, 2-2.
Fastball away, runs the count full.
It's one of those at-bats Kevin Long, the hitting instructor, will be awfully proud of. Alex Rodriguez, obviously the big numbers this spring, but he's grinding out an at-bat right here. Fouling off some tough pitches, laid off a fastball away. See if he can finish it off.
Bases loaded, one out. And it's a walk for Alex Rodriguez, second straight walk for the Yankees, and that'll push across the first run of the game as Russell Martin touches the plate. 1-0 Yanks. He got ahead of Alex there, and then he just lost him.
It's a really good at-bat for Alex Rodriguez. You get behind in the count, you're able to foul off some tough pitches, and then you take a slider down and away, obviously a ball, but a good take. Alex Rodriguez seeing the ball well. Productive at-bat.
Well, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. So 1-0 Yankees here, bottom of the third. 2 successive walks by Porcello, and now Robinson Cano comes up, grounded to second, his first at bat. He's got a bases loaded situation and a chance to cash in. First pitch swinging, hot shot to second. Rhymes there with the liner, but they can't get Teixeira at second. 2 outs.
Well, Robinson Cano back-to-back at bats. First pitch swinging, hits this ball right on the nose. Unfortunately for him, it's a line drive right at Rhymes, and a nice piece of base running by Mark Teixeira. You freeze on a line drive. He does not get doubled off. The first reaction is always you're thinking about scoring. Nice job of freezing on a line drive.
So Cano 0 for 2 this afternoon on 2 swings of the bat. Now Nick Swisher, who singled in the second inning. Now with 2 outs and the bases loaded.
Sometimes you look at hitters and the way they take a pitch. We talked about Alex Rodriguez and his at bat. A good changeup down and away. Nick Swisher did not even move. Tells me as an ex-catcher he's seeing the ball right out of Porcello's hand.
Swisher didn't like that one. Inside part of the plate, strike 2.
Home plate umpire Chad Fairchild. Looked like it was off the plate inside. Porcello gets the call. Now Nick Swisher behind in the count 1-2 instead of ahead in the count 2-1.
Bases loaded. Yanks trying to do more damage. Swisher on the 1-2. Chopper to the right side. Cabrera easily handles it, so Porcello gets out of it with minimal damage, and the damage he did himself with a bases loaded walk. But the Yanks are up 1-0.
You either have it or you don't. Experience the graceful control, exceptional grip, and superior handling of a Mercedes-Benz 4MATIC, one of the most advanced all-wheel drive systems ever made. Available on 9 different model lines. See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for exceptional offers through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services.
Moving? Call, pack, kick back. That's all it takes to move your DirecTV. One call before moving, pack your receiver, and we do the rest. Just call, pack, kick back, and ask about free months of HBO and Cinemax, or Stars and Showtime, plus our special equipment upgrade offer. So make your move easy. Call DirecTV.
Is the pressure of paying your credit card bills overwhelming you? Are you behind on your mortgage or struggling financially? Have you turned to debt settlement companies only to find your credit rating ruined and your debt increased?
Anyone can find themselves in financial difficulty. It's natural to be overwhelmed by debt you can't afford, harassing phone calls, repossession, and foreclosure notices. Of course, you would try almost anything to resolve your debt, which leaves you vulnerable to the false promises of unscrupulous debt settlement companies. Fortunately, there's a legal way out of debt through bankruptcy, and my law firm can help you. Our bankruptcy lawyers have helped thousands of clients just like you get the fresh start you deserve. Don't be a victim any longer. Let bankruptcy help you take control of your life and your finances. After all, bankruptcy is not the end, it's a new beginning.
For your free consultation, call the law offices of David I. Pankin, PC at 888-LAW-9600. That's 888-529-9600.
1-0 Yankees on the Cadillac scoreboard as we head to the top of the 4th inning. And we welcome in, as always, at this point, the manager of the Yankees, Joe Girardi. How are you this afternoon?
I'm good, Bob. How are you? Flash, how are you doing up there?
Well, I'm hanging tough, Joe.
I guess spring training has gotten to him, Joe. I guess that's what he's saying.
Day game after a night game rainout got you, or what?
I think I'm like all the players. It's time to get home and do it for real, right?
Yes, it is.
Joe, what's that been like for you? I mean, that final day, you got to play a game, you want to look at your guys, but you're ready to get out of here, too.
Well, it's interesting. Your thought process changes with the rain out a little bit yesterday. You guys probably go a little bit longer today and, try to get them all 3 at bats, and then you move on from there. But it's, I put the night game yesterday, start packing, you get everything ready, and it's time to go home.
Joe, we were talking a little bit about it. I had a conversation with Stick Michael, and he said you just want to get the guys out of here healthy at this point. I mean, is that your biggest concern this afternoon?
Yeah, that's exactly what you're thinking about. You don't want to see anyone get hit by a pitch or, strain something as we're going through the rest of spring training here today. And, they can go and work out and be healthy tomorrow and feel good about what they did.
Speaking of health, we talked a little bit about Curtis Granderson today. What is the game plan for him this afternoon?
Well, he's getting 4 at-bats today in a simulated game down at the minor league facility because they got rained out. So we're doing a simulated game, and we have Hughes, Chamberlain, Robertson, Logan, and Rivera throwing, combined 4 innings total. Hughes will go 4, and the relievers will each go 1, and he'll get 4 at-bats probably over there, 4 or 5, and play tomorrow. And if he gets through today, he'll play tomorrow down there, and if he gets through that, you probably see him opening day.
Which is great news, because I think about a week ago when he had that oblique injury, people were speculating would he even be able to begin the season with you.
Yeah, I mean, they're tricky. They just don't heal fast a lot of times. But the oblique injuries that we've had, we've been able to get through them so far, and hopefully he's the 4th one that we get through fairly quickly.
Well, Joe, you mentioned all those relievers throwing over there as well. Martinez hits a ground ball to Mark Teixeira. I mean, have you ever seen a spring where you're playing the team you're going to open with the last day of spring training? It's very unusual.
Never. It is unusual, and we have a couple of relievers throwing here, and you kind of wait until they get their guys out. So I hope Jimmy Leland doesn't decide to play him 9. It really messed me up today.
Hey, we get the feeling from the way Freddie Garcia is throwing today. Guys have gotten on, but they haven't scored for the Tigers. That this is one of the main reasons. Maybe this is a good example of why he got that 5th spot in the rotation.
Yeah, we've talked about how he really knows how to compete, and he's got different weapons that he can go to. If his curveball's not working that day, he's got a slider, a changeup, a split. He's going to get his share of ground balls. His command is pretty good, where he's not going to walk too many people. So I mean, this is what Freddie does. I mean, Freddie competes and never gives in and finds a way to get out.
Good changeup right there. How about Russell Martin? We talked a little bit about him. He's kind of flown under the radar a little bit for me this spring. A lot of attention with Montero and Romine, and Russell's just kind of done his job and had a nice spring.
Yeah, he has. I mean, we're really pleased with what he's done, and the big thing is to keep him physically healthy. And he feels pretty good. Another guy that nicked up a hamstring the other day, probably on the triple that he hit. And I told him today that you're going to run 75% all the time, and if you don't, I'm going to come take you out right there. But he is a big part of our club, and we're really excited about what he can do.
What have the pitchers said to you about throwing to him?
They've enjoyed him, and we've had to make sure that he's seen everyone, and he's had to catch guys down at the minor league games, and there's days he's caught 8 innings because we wanted him to see all the relievers. But he's strong. He's a guy that can play a lot of games, and fatigue is not a huge concern of mine when it comes to Russell.
Brennan Bosch lining one out to right, and that ball just keeps carrying over the head of Nick Swisher and out of the park for a solo home run to tie the game at 1.
The ball's carrying a little bit to right field. It didn't have that good sound to it, huh, Joe?
Well, when he hit it, I didn't look because I didn't have a good feeling about it. Brendan Bosch, a guy with a lot of power that really struggled in the second half. But the first half, I mean, people talked about him for the All-Star game, and he's a big part of their lineup. But I thought he got it when he hit it.
And that brings up Johnny Peralta, looks at strike 1.
Larry, I'm standing here talking to John Flaherty and Bob Lorenz. John Flaherty wanted me to ask you, who's the best catcher you ever had in Tampa?
Alex Rodriguez, nice play across the diamond, showing off the gun, and he gets Peralta at first.
He laughed and he said flash, so you were definitely it, Johnny.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. He said he wasn't smart enough to play you every day.
Well, nice play by Alex Rodriguez. You're smart enough to play this guy every day, Joe, as long as he stays healthy. Strong throw across the diamond, and Freddie Garcia loves it.
Yeah, I mean, that's an outstanding play. I mean, that's a sure double right there. And Alex has had an unbelievable spring. And you just look at the last at bat he had where he was down 1-2 in the count and ended up getting a walk, fouling off some tough pitches. So, I mean, he really looks like he's ready to go.
Well, 2 outs here in the 4th, and Alex Avila fouling one away. Joe, any final decisions that you need to make here as you get ready to break?
Well, Curtis is one of them. We have to decide if he's healthy enough to go with us, and if he is, he would leave after tomorrow's game. And then that 25th pitcher. We have to make a decision there. Is it someone within, or is it someone that we might go get? Ayala's had a good spring. Garrison's had a good spring. And, Cash is looking at every viable option, and we'll make a decision Wednesday. And if it's not someone outside the organization, one of those guys will be on the flight Wednesday.
And last night, the news you delivered to us, Montero to AAA, Romine to AA, and so Molina's the backup for now?
Yeah, for right now. And, you know, these are two young kids that we feel need to play every day. And last year was the first year that they were apart for the whole time and that they played every day. And I think there's something to learning to play as a catcher when you're fatigued and getting the most out of yourself physically and mentally. They're 21 and 22 years old, and as I told, you know, Montero, I was on my spring trip in college baseball, and you're knocking on the door of the big leagues right now. So don't take this as a demotion. This is an opportunity for you to go play every day, because we consider both of you guys frontline catchers, not backups.
And when they got the news, what was their reaction? Because we saw Romine kind of bounce out of the clubhouse. He was ready to say, hey, I'll be back at some point.
Well, you know, I think there's disappointment. Of course you're going to be disappointed, but I think they understood, and they know how we feel about them. And they know what they have to do to stay here the whole time.
Garcia's 2-2 on Avila, who singled in his first at bat back in the third. And fouls one away again. We saw Eric Chavez wrap up his spring pretty nicely. Locked up a spot in the rotation. You've got Nunez also making the roster.
Yeah, and Chavi had a great spring. And what we saw was a bat that's really alive. I mean, the ball was jumping off his bat all spring training. And our big thing was, you know, is he going to be healthy enough for us? And he's shown that. And we're excited about what he can do.
And there's Avila driving one out to right. Swisher has it. Joe, thank you so much, and thanks for all spring joining us. The Yankees fans absolutely love it when you're able to do it, so we appreciate all you do.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you Thursday.
Thanks, Joe. Good. Thanks, Joe. We take it to the bottom half of the fourth. Game all tied at 1 here in Tampa.
After a long winter, it's good to get out and see what's new. I suggest a test drive.
It's the final days of the Lincoln Spring Forward event. One last opportunity at an attractive sign and drive lease with 4 years complimentary maintenance.
It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that.
Can the network you live on handle the computers, TVs, and technology you can't live without? Verizon Fios can. Get the power and speed of America's largest 100% fiber optic network. Verizon Fios, a network ahead.
Have you ever had a ticket package that included everything you want? The Trenton Thunder, AA affiliate of the New York Yankees, have created that package just for you. Our Rivals plan includes 6 of our best games against the Phillies, Mets, and Red Sox. It also includes 4 fireworks nights, 2 giveaway nights, and a free Thunder hat. To top it off, we've included a free hot dog, popcorn, and soda at each game. Visit TrentonThunder.com to reserve your plan today. Trenton Thunder Baseball. Fun happens here.
Versus Toyota. Which is better?
Why do so many car companies compare themselves to Toyota? Maybe it's because Toyota has more hybrids on the road than all other automakers combined. Like the 50 MPG rated Prius, named a best overall value of the year. Right now, you can get 0% APR financing for a full 60 months on a 2010 Prius. Or get an incredible $1,000 cash back on a 2010 Prius. We're #1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
It's a 1-1 game on the Cadillac scoreboard as we head to the bottom of the fourth and the bottom of the order for the Yankees. In the top of the fourth, after Brennan Bosch went deep to right and tied the game at 1, it's Posada, Jones, and Martin for the Yankees. Posada singled in his first at bat. Chopper to the right side, fair ball. Cabrera takes it himself, 1 away. Well, later tonight, the Nets are home in New Jersey to take on the Houston Rockets. Coverage starts at 6:30 with the Nets pregame, and then Einigle and Mike Fratello bring you the courtside call. Rockets, Nets, it all starts tonight at 6:30 only on Yes. And here's Andrew Jones, grounded to third in his first at bat. Had an RBI opportunity, a couple men aboard, but not able to get him in.
A good conversation with Joe Girardi. He's been great to us all spring, joining us for the top of the fourth inning. But interesting what he was saying about, the possibility of another player outside the organization. A crazy time in spring training where players are being cut, released, have to go through waivers. You never know what's going to happen.
When you talk about having to be on top of your game, scanning what's going on, kind of keeping an eye on everything, that's a minute-by-minute thing almost.
Yeah, this is where your scouting department, your general manager all come together with all those reports that they developed during spring training. Hey, this kid looked good. He might be out of options, which means if you try to put him through waivers, a team can claim him. We'll see how it all plays out over the next 48 hours.
Jones a chopper to third again. And in John to first, two away.
Jones rolls over another sinker again. Back-to-back at bats for him. Trying to find his swing going into the regular season.
And that'll bring up Russell Martin. Martin singled in the third, later scored. And a chopper foul.
Really think the new Yankee Stadium might be a place Russell Martin is going to enjoy hitting. Rewards you if you think about going the other way. I'm talking to people around the Dodgers, they say that, got a little too pull happy in LA. Maybe if he can work with Kevin Long going the other way, driving the ball to the opposite field, get himself back on track.
Well, we'll see him on Thursday in the opener at the stadium. Working with CC Sabathia, going up against Justin Verlander for the Tigers. And a swing and a miss, and that'll do it. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Porcello. We're all tied at 1. We go to the top of the 5th.
It's amazing.
Well, let's check out the Avis upcoming schedule as we close out the books here in Tampa for 2011. And the Tigers and Yankees get ready to head to the Bronx for the regular season opener Thursday at 1 o'clock. Extended pregame coverage starting at noon on Yes with the Tri-State Ford pregame. And then that Friday off on the schedule before the Tigers and Yankees wrap up their season opening series on Saturday and Sunday. Our ball game now tied at 1, top of the 5th. The Audi scoreboard shows us 3 hits for the Tigers, 4 hits for the Yankees. Tigers getting their run on a solo home run by Brennan Bosch, while the Yankees got a bases loaded walk from Alex Rodriguez that forced in a run. And Freddie Garcia now in his 5th inning of work, starting things off with the number 9 hitter for the Tigers, Brandon Inge. Inge flew out to center field his first time up.
I think Freddie Garcia and the Yankees have to be pleased with this last spring training appearance. Looks like he's mixing all of his pitches well. A good changeup right there to Brandon Inge.
And lashed into right field, base hit. Well, that's Mark Pryor out in the bullpen, starting to get loose. Working the rubber bands.
Marco has had plenty of arm injuries, shoulder problems. I'm sure is on some sort of a routine that he does to get loose before he starts throwing.
If he had leaned back anymore, he could have been water skiing, kind of phantom water skiing.
Well, whatever he's doing, he should continue because he's opened up some eyes this spring training. It's been a nice story for the Yankees. Has shown that he is somewhat healthy, will stay here in Tampa and pitch for the Tampa Yankees in the warm weather.
Inge aboard at first, and Austin Jackson is up. Struck out swinging, flew out to right field. And lifting one out to right field again. The Swisher chases it into the corner for out number 1.
Bob, I was actually having flashbacks today when I walked into Steinbrenner Field. You know, getaway day, last day of spring training, all the luggage and all the equipment is packed up and ready to go. And it was 2003 that it was the last day of spring training, and I was fighting Chris Widger for that backup catcher's position. And Joe Torre couldn't tell either of us if we had made the team. So we both had to come with our suitcase ready to go and had no idea which one was going to go to Toronto to open the season. Saw all that luggage today and brought back a lot of bad feelings. I was lucky enough to make the club, but it was in the 5th inning of the last spring training game that Joe Torre called both of us in the clubhouse and informed us of the decision.
Were you playing in that game?
No, he didn't play either of us, and we were both sitting on the bench and almost laughing through 4 innings like, you know, our lives obviously with this decision were going to change. You had families to think about, and we had no idea if we were going with the club to Toronto or if we were going to play for another team. You know, I had no idea what was going to happen, and luckily for me, it worked out.
Had to have your passport ready, too.
That's right. Actually released Chris Widger. He had a guaranteed contract, and they gave him his release. He was able to go play for the St. Louis Cardinals. But talk about stress when you leave your home with your wife and 3 kids and you say, well, I don't know if I'm going to Toronto tonight. I don't know if we're moving to New York. I can't tell you anything. How do you think that went over at home?
Yeah, pretty well,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that was a little rough.
Easy peasy. And Freddie Garcia with a strikeout of Will Rhymes for out number 2.
And a good changeup again from Freddie Garcia. He has shown a good one this afternoon. Drop in velocity, good sink down and away. Joe Girardi has to be pleased with what he saw from his 5th starter.
A terrific outing for him. Gets him through 4 2/3, 79 pitches. And he leaves with a 1-1 game as Luis Ayala will come in relief. We'll take a break. Return right after this. The new pitcher for the Yankees is Luis Ayala. He comes in with 2 outs here in the top half of the 5th inning in relief of Freddie Garcia.
So the numbers from last year, AAA. But Ayala, again, a guy who has opened up some eyes fighting for that last spot. Problem for him, he's not on the 40-man roster.
And first pitch swinging, that's Maglio Ordonez tucking one into the left field corner. Inge on his way to 3rd. Ordonez on his way to 2nd, and 1 pitch in, and they've got 2nd and 3rd.
Ayala, who throws from that side 3/4 arm angle. Ordonez looking for the ball inside, and he got it. Drills it just out of the reach of Alex Rodriguez into the corner for a double.
Well, Garcia pulled by Joe Girardi, 79 pitches, had just struck a batter out. Was that one of those leave with a feel-good type things?
Well, that and the pitch count, too. You know, you wanted to get an elevated pitch count. Probably they had 80 pitches in mind, 80, 85. And once he got to that point with the strikeout, a lot of positives for Freddie Garcia this afternoon.
And Miguel Cabrera, first pitch swinging to short. And the Tigers will strand a couple here in the top of the 5th as Ayala gets the job done, and we're on to the bottom of the 5th.
The sounds of spring. It's a symphony best appreciated at full blast. The moment you've been waiting for has arrived. Spring's best event from Cadillac. But like the beauty of spring, it won't last long.
Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer or CadillacTristate.com for this exceptional offer.
It's time to rethink your DVR. Because the FiOS multi-room DVR lets you record in one room and play in up to 6 others. It also stores over 300 hours of programming, and you can watch one show while recording 2 others. Want to know how many other DVRs have all this and a 100% fiber optic network? Record in one room, play in up to 6 rooms, even program it with your mobile device. Call and ask how to get our most advanced DVR free for the life of your services. FiOS, a network ahead.
You're watching Yes, home of the 27-time World Series champion New York Yankees.
Whoa! Don't mind you spilling that hot latte on my driver's seat.
This is my car. Who are you?
I'm the second owner.
The what?
I will own this car after you. Look, I'm not telling you how to drive our car.
Our car?
If you're gonna have a latte in the car, keep a lid on it.
It's a cappuccino.
Still needs a lid.
The highest quality cars plus an exceptional certified pre-owned program. Good news for the second owner.
Take care of my car.
Visit your local Audi dealer to learn about the many benefits of our comprehensive certified pre-owned program.
The Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball.
Let's do it here in the Bronx.
Oh, what a play by Teixeira. He absolutely crushed it. What a play. He got him. The great Mariano.
Opening day coverage starts Thursday at noon, only on Yes.
Well, next Monday, the skipper is back for a new season of WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show. Every week, go inside the mind of the manager for insight on the team, Joe's preview of the upcoming series, plus his answers to your questions submitted on YesNetwork.com. It's a new season of the Joe Girardi Show, next Monday at 11, only on Yes. And on the Audi scoreboard, a tie game at 1 here, bottom of the 5th. And the top of the order for the Yankees, Brett Gardner, Derek Jeter, and Mark Teixeira. Brett Gardner quickly behind 0-2 in the count. Grounded to short, singled in the 3rd.
Look at the pitch count there for Porcello, 65 here starting the 5th inning. Pretty impressive and very economical with his pitches, a lot of strikes.
And a strike right there on a breaking ball for out number 1.
Well, Brett Gardner not real happy with the call. Looked like a high slider. Chad Fairchild generous with the strike zone up.
And that'll bring up Derek Jeter. Grounded to short, chopped back to the pitcher. And looks at strike 1. A broken bat to second. Rhymes on to first, 2 away.
.41 strikes, 27 balls, and a good sinking fastball to Derek Jeter. Gotta believe, Bob, he might have a rebound season. We talked about it 2 years ago, 14 wins. Got a good mix going today, off speed and that sinker.
Mark Teixeira fouling one into the stands. I mean, he's going to be important to Jim Leyland's club.
A lot of question marks in that rotation. Phil Koch, who had been a relief pitcher, lefty with the Yankees and with the Tigers, will get a shot in the rotation. And Brad Penny, I mean, I don't know what they think they're going to get out of him. So Porcello will be a nice opportunity to have a big year.
Now we're going to watch that foul ball by Mark Teixeira and watch the guy in the concourse right there. Look. Looks like a medic maybe, or a EMS guy.
Well, I talk about pitchers all the time, how they're proud of their stuff. He was proud of that catch. See him playing to the crowd. Getting a little love.
And text to first, Cabrera to Porcello, and another 1-2-3 inning for Porcello, his 3rd of the game. All tied at 1 in Tampa.
Get to Nissan now for the offer you need on the Nissan you want. This is Nissan Now. Get special pricing on our full line. Sedans, trucks and SUVs, crossovers. Now, lease Altima, just $189. Or Rogue, just $199. Visit ChooseNissan.com or see your local Nissan dealer today. Event ends March 31st. Get in now.
Sniffing out the best pre-owned Lexus is now puppy's play at preownedplatinum.com. Fetch the pick of the litter from the inventories of the Tri-State's leading Lexus dealers. That's hundreds of cars from which we pick the highest value, lowest priced Lexus in the market that day. Unconditional love or exchange it within 48 hours. At preownedplatinum.com, pedigree is assured by a Carfax vehicle history. We are doggedly committed to making credit easy. So log on now. The pick of the Lexus litter is waiting for you at preownedplatinum.com. We lick those other websites.
If you think you have to put off getting a new car, think twice, as in Bay Ridge Nissan.
And Nissan of Manhattan.
The combined strength of two of New York's biggest Nissan dealers can offer you easy, low-cost financing.
With twice the selection, twice the credit available. That means our prices just can't be beat, and we can prove it.
Just bring in any ad. 2 times the service.
2 times the savings.
So come in and see how the power of 2
makes beating any price
twice as nice.
In Brooklyn, in 1907, 4 courageous ladies saw the despair of the poor, old, and sick, and founded what would become MJHS. Today, MJHS provides quality home care, rehabilitation and skilled nursing, and advanced hospice and palliative care for adults and children. But the values of the Brooklyn ladies still guide us. MJHS, caring every minute, every day.
Well, follow the New York Yankees with MLB.com at BAT11 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get spring training scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details. Top of the 6th in Tampa, all tied at 1. And some defensive changes for the Yankees, which we'll detail for you in just a moment. Luis Ayala facing Victor Martinez to start things off here in the 6th. Martinez driving one out to left field, chasing Andrew Jones back. And Jones has it 1 away. So we talked about some of the defensive replacements. Eric Chavez comes in for Mark Teixeira at first. Eduardo Nunez is in at short for Derek Jeter. Behind the plate, it's Austin Romine. And in center field, Melky Mesa takes over for Brett Gardner. So Joe Girardi getting at-bats for Gardner in the last inning, Derek Jeter and Mark Teixeira, and then takes him out. Another pitching change for the Yankees as Ayala gets the first out of the inning. And we'll take a break and give you all the details of the newest pitcher after this.
I got this new City thank you card and started earning loads of points.
Okay, we'll leave that there for now. Put this on.
You got a weather balloon with points.
Yes, I did.
Points I could use for just about anything.
There it is.
So I used mine to get a whole new perspective. The new City Thank You Premier Card gives you more ways to earn points. What's your story? City can help you write it.
Weeknights, Lou Dobbs is back to business. Hard-hitting interviews, sharp market insight, in-depth analysis with a critical eye on events shaping today's most important stories. Weeknights, Dobbs is back to business, going back-to-back with one of the most experienced names in business journalism, Neil Cavuto. 2 trusted names, 1 powerful network. When it comes to covering business, these guys are all business. Only on Fox Business Network, giving you the power to prosper.
You folks have any questions? Just let me know.
It really is a great time to buy. Honda's got more #1 bestsellers than any other car maker.
Wow, really big buttons. Nice.
Tie's crooked.
Hurry into Honda's Really Big Things sales event. For great leases and low financing, see your Honda dealer.
The Yes Sports Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Let's do it here in the Bronx. Oh, what a play by Teixeira. He absolutely crushed it. What a play. He got him. The great Mariano.
Opening day coverage starts Thursday at noon, only on Yes.
One out here, top of the sixth, in a tie ball game, and the new pitcher for the Yankees is the lefty Steve Garrison. And as Joe Girardi talked to us earlier about filling that 25th spot on the roster, it'll be a pitcher, and Garrison is a guy who has an opportunity here with, as you mentioned, Feliciano expected to not start the season. They'll start it on the DL. They can use another lefty to go with Boone Logan, and Garrison could be that guy.
Yeah, and not a surprise he's facing a left-handed hitter, Brennan Bosch, right here. This would be a matchup you might see during the season.
And Bosch flaring one into left field, and that'll fall in between Nunez and Andrew Jones for a base hit.
Well, Garrison does a nice job of beating Brennan Bosch inside, but he's so big and strong he can fight it off. Picks up a base hit. You see Romine setting in. Good velocity, good location. Just finds a hole.
Well, Ayala, who preceded Garrison, another option for that final spot in the bullpen. With Bosch aboard, it's Johnny Peralta.
Well, good news for Garrison. He is on the 40-man roster, so they don't have to make any roster moves if they wanted to take him to New York. Not the case with Ayala.
And Peralta to the right side, and Chavez will watch that spin into the stands. And another nice grab. Folks in the stands are bringing their A game in the final game of spring training.
They're ready for the regular season.
Garrison was claimed off waivers last September from the San Diego Padres.
You can imagine what's going through his mind. He knows that there's been some talk he might make this club. A decision that has not been made, and you get your last opportunity here in a spring training game to show what you can do. Obviously you want it to go your way. I'm sure a lot going through his mind.
Again, it's Austin Romine working with Garrison here, and although Romine has been reassigned to Double-A, it's all hands on deck here in the final game of spring training, as Peralta fouls one away. Another chopper foul, and as you mentioned, kind of a bonus round for us in this game, seeing some of the Yankees get a little more extended playing time. We saw Gardner, Jeter, Teixeira each get 3 at-bats because they weren't able to play last night due to the rainout.
A little different this time in spring training. Obviously the Yankees traveling after the game, so a bunch of the regulars will hang around here. Have to wait for the game to be over. Everybody heads north.
And Peralta swing and a miss for out number 2.
A pretty good slider from Garrison there. He's shown some velocity. He can touch 90 miles an hour. Perfect location down and in. Gets Peralta to swing over the top.
With 2 outs and a man on first, Alex Avila, the catcher. 1 for 2 in the afternoon, a single in the third, and a line drive to right field in the fourth.
Well, obviously, Joe Girardi and Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, are going to be watching Garrison very closely, but it's these matchups against Bosch and Avila here, left on left. Really paying attention if you're the manager and the pitching coach.
And it deuces a little chopper fair right in front of Alex Rodriguez, and so far the two lefties he's faced really haven't done much, but they've gotten aboard.
Yeah, they're 2 for 2 with a couple of base hits, but you know, Garrison has actually done a nice job. He beat Bosch inside with a fastball, and he just blocked it off the other way. And a pretty good slider to Avila, kind of pulled off. And this is the reaction Joe Girardi wants to see from a left-handed hitter. Kind of pulls off the end of the bat, a little cue shot. He's going to pick up a base hit, but obviously does not hit it well.
So he's done what he needs to do, but there are 2 aboard here with 2 outs, and Brandon Inge up to bat. And looks at strike 1. Inge has flown to center, singled in the 5th. Good strike there from Garrison, 1 and 2.
See Larry Rothschild looking on. Garrison's had a nice slider today, 81 miles an hour. He's located it into the righty's back door, away from Inge. That pitch, heading the count 1 and 2.
Gets Inge to a little weak chopper foul. Does he have a put-away pitch? That's what Joe Girardi and Larry Rothschild would like to find out. Austin Romine getting together with him for a little chat and see if they can close the book on Inge.
Well, he's got enough velocity, and he's touching 90 miles an hour, and he got some life on that fastball. He's thrown a couple of off-speed pitches to Inge. Might be able to sneak a fastball by him inside or maybe up in the zone. Good pitch.
Little zip on that one and a pop into Romine's mitt.
It's perfect here. 91. He drills it inside off the plate. Doesn't get the call, but a nice purpose pitch after a few off-speed deliveries.
2 and 2 with 2 aboard. Shatters a bat and just foul. You know, a lot's been made about the benefits of 1 lefty versus 2 lefties in the bullpen. We know that last year, in a perfect world, the Yankees would have had 2, but DeMaso Marte was injured. Do you have to have 2 lefties out there?
No, you don't have to. It is definitely a luxury if Joe Girardi wants to go that way. And, you know, with a guy like Garrison, this is the situation. It would be 6th inning maybe the beginning of a 7th where you can match him up against a lefty. And then you got Boone Logan for a matchup later on. Not a necessity, but definitely a luxury.
With 2 aboard and 2 outs, just misses to Inge, so 3 and 2.
It'd be nice when you go up to Boston if you had a few lefties in the pen. You got Carl Crawford up there, Gonzalez, obviously Big Papi, David Ortiz.
And with the runners going on 3-2, Inge fouls it away. Very lefty-heavy lineup now with the addition of Crawford and Gonzalez.
Yeah, and I like what I'm seeing here from Garrison. We've obviously talked about the fastball and the slider, but throwing a lot of pitches around the strike zone. You're Larry Rothschild, and you have a pitcher coming in out of the pen. You want to know what you're getting. Can he throw strikes in a big situation?
And Inge fouling it off again.
A good battle here between Brandon Inge and Steve Garrison. It's where you'd like to have that 3rd pitch. We've seen fastball, slider, fastball, slider. If you had a good changeup and some confidence, it would be a good time for it.
Two aboard, the 3-2 pitch. And Inge, a chopper to 3rd again. Alex Rodriguez on to 1st, and that'll do it. So Steve Garrison getting the job done. A couple little flare hits, and that's it. As we head to the bottom half of the 6th, still tied at 1.
You either have it or you don't. Experience the graceful control, exceptional grip, and superior handling of a Mercedes-Benz 4MATIC, one of the most advanced all-wheel drive systems ever made. Available on 9 different model lines. See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for exceptional offers through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services.
That's 6 so far today.
And it's not even noon.
I don't get it. Why are all of our customers switching to coffee from W.B. Mason?
Well, they sell Green Mountain coffee.
So?
At great low prices.
So?
With lots of delicious flavors. And 1 cup brewing means no waste, no mess.
Yep, we clean our pots every month.
And WB delivers fresh coffee every day.
Enough already. There's nothing wrong with our coffee. They just don't know what they're missing. Who but W.B. Mason?
Have you ever had a ticket package that included everything you want? The Trenton Thunder, AA affiliate of the New York Yankees, have created that package just for you. Our Rivals plan includes 6 of our best games against the Phillies, Mets, and Red Sox. It also includes 4 fireworks nights, 2 giveaway nights, and a free Thunder hat. To top it off, we've included a free hot dog, popcorn, and soda at each game. Visit TrentonThunder.com to reserve your plan today. Trenton Thunder Baseball. Fun happens here.
This is comparable to the Corolla.
Why do so many car companies compare themselves to Corolla? Maybe it's because Corolla is the #1 selling car of all time. Or because the Corolla was awarded a 2011 IIHS Top Safety Pick. Lease a 2010 Toyota Corolla for just $149 a month, or get 0% APR financing for 60 months. And when you lease or finance Corolla, get an additional $500 in down payment assistance. We're #1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
And we are back here, bottom half of the 6th inning. The Tigers and Yankees wrapping up spring training, but they will see each other again, as we mentioned in the season opening series. Justin Verlander and CC Sabathia in the opener on Thursday. Game 2 on Saturday, Brad Penny against A.J. Burnett, and then Sunday, Max Scherzer against Phil Hughes. And Scherzer, you talk about trying to take good things into the season. His last outing wasn't that. In fact, he gave up 11 earned runs yesterday in a loss to the Baltimore Orioles in just 2 1/3 innings. Here's Alex Rodriguez, flown out to right and walked.
Are you saying that's not a good outing to go into the season with?
Not good swing thoughts. Was for the Orioles, not for him.
And that one, it's your biggest fear right there, Bob. Yeah, you're probably your last at bat of spring training. And even when you see the catcher Avila setting up inside, you kind of cringe a little bit, just don't hit him.
That was tailing into Alex as well.
Biggest fear if you're Joe Girardi right there.
One, a swing and a miss, 1-2. Porcello just missing away, 2-2.
Well, Jim Leland has to be very, very happy with what he has seen from Porcello. This is a much better pitch, a slider just off the plate than we saw last year.
You know, as we looked at those starting pitchers, and we've talked about offensively, they need a healthy Alex Rodriguez. How about A.J. Burnett and just solidifying that #2 spot? If he can do anything close to what he did in his first year with the Yankees, that's going to help this ball club out tremendously. Alex cueing one to first base, and Cabrera will take it himself for out #1.
Well, A.J. Burnett has had a nice spring training, and I think he's really answered a lot of questions on what type of a year he's going to have. Larry Rothschild has cleaned up his delivery. He's not walked a batter in spring training, and obviously it's spring training, but I think A.J. has to be very, very pleased.
So that's it for Rick Porcello. And coming out of the bullpen, Futeni. We'll talk more about him coming up.
Sure, some of our customers have switched to W.B. Mason. But these guys, they're loyal. They love our coffee here.
Hey, that's one of our pots.
So's this.
And this.
Sorry, guys, we switched to WB Mason.
Yeah, we love our Green Mountain K-Cups.
All the gourmet flavors.
And WB delivers every day.
WB Mason strikes again.
But it does make a nice fishbowl.
Who but WB Mason?
They say the average person will own 12 cars in their lifetime. So ask yourself, which car will you remember? Lease the 2011 IS 250 all-wheel drive for $349 a month for 36 months with $38.24 due at signing. See your Lexus dealer.
Wachovia is now Wells Fargo in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. And moving forward, you'll start to see some new things, like more innovative online tools to help you reach your financial goals, more ATMs and branches nationwide, and over 150 years of banking experience behind you. But there's one thing that won't change. Those same friendly faces you've come to know and trust will be with you when you want to move forward. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
Pack 'em up, load 'em up. Our producer, Frank DeGrace, trying to haunt you one more time, Flash. Rick Porcello, good afternoon of work for him. Allowed just 4 hits to the Yankees, 1 run over 5 2/3 innings. And he gives way to a player that was just reassigned to minor league camp for the Tigers, Fute Ni. The first Taiwanese-born player in the Tigers system.
Can honestly say, look at those numbers in spring training. He was sent out 5 walks, 10 innings, not the greatest, but 9 strikeouts. Have you ever seen the last name on the back of a uniform with 2 letters? Looks a little odd.
It's a good question. I'm trying to think. Sadaharu O.
Meanwhile, a good opportunity. Vincent Cano has hit a line drive to second base, a ground ball to second base. Face the lefty knee here. See if he can have a productive at bat. Take it into the season.
And swing and a miss, and he'll jog to first, but Avila will throw on for the second out. I imagine that might do it for Robinson Cano this afternoon. His 3rd at bat as he grounded to second, line to second, and struck out swinging. Nick Swisher has singled this afternoon, grounded to first. Flipping around to the right side to face Knee.
It's not the worst thing in the world. Get a couple at bats left-handed, then you move over to the right side.
I love his approach at the plate, the bat resting on the shoulder. He just looks so relaxed as the pitcher's about to deliver the ball.
Well, the adjustment Kevin Long made last year with not as much of a leg kick. Simpler approach. The numbers were there last year, and Nick came into camp saying they could be even better this year.
And looks one out to shallow right as Rhymes goes back, but gives way to Ordonez for the final out. So a 1-2-3-6. We're all tied as we head to the 7th.
Join Yankees Universe, the official fan club of the New York Yankees.
Members enjoy exclusive benefits, including fast-track entrance to Yankee Stadium and the New York Yankees Museum, presented by Bank of America.
Access to an exclusive website. And a subscription to MLB Game Day Audio.
Benefits increase based on the tier of membership selected.
A portion of all proceeds are donated to Memorial Sloan Kettering, benefiting pediatric cancer research. Join Yankees Universe today by visiting Yankees.com or by calling 800-GO-YANKS.
The sounds of spring. It's a symphony best appreciated at full blast. The moment you've been waiting for has arrived. Spring's best event from Cadillac. But like the beauty of spring, it won't last long. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer or CadillacTristate.com for this exceptional offer.
It's time to rethink your DVR. Because the Fios Multi-Room DVR lets you record in one room and play in up to 6 others. It also stores over 300 hours of programming, and you can watch one show while recording 2 others. Want to know how many other DVRs have all this and a 100% fiber optic network? Record in one room, play in up to 6 rooms, even program it with your mobile device. Call and ask how to get our most advanced DVR free for the life of your services. Fios, a network ahead.
Get to Nissan now for the offer you need on the Nissan you want. This is Nissan Now. Get special pricing on our full line. Sedans, trucks and SUVs, crossovers. Now, lease Altima, just $189. Or Rogue, just $199. Visit ChooseNissan.com or see your local Nissan dealer today. Event ends March 31st. Get in now.
And as we head to the top of the 7th inning on the Ford scoreboard, it is a 1-1 tie between the Tigers and Yankees. And the Yankees announcing just a short time ago that Hope Week will be back for a 3rd straight year, helping others persevere and excel. July 25th through 29th at the stadium, and we welcome in the man who has planted the seeds for Hope Week, the Director of Media Relations for the Yankees, Jason Zillo. Good to have you with us.
Bob, thank you. John, good to see you as well.
Good to see you, Jason. Let's talk a little bit about Hope Week and how it's grown. How have you seen it grown in these 3 years?
Well, you know, the entire organization has embraced it. And, you know, it's one thing to put on a community program and, you know, offer some lip service. But I think, you know, the players, the front office, the executives, ownership, I mean, they've bought into it. And I think bought into it's probably a bad word because, you know, it's real.
The impact that we obviously during that time on the pregame show, we'll talk to the players, the managers and coaches about how it impacts them. Actually, in a way, almost get more out of it than some of the participants. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, you hear that out of a lot of people's mouths. I know I can speak for myself and say that, you know, it's a big undertaking, but just to see people's expressions and the smiles and, you know, it's genuine joy and for the better part of 5 days. And, you know, it's a nice reprieve for all of us, you know, who, you know, watch pitch after pitch, game after game for 7 or 8 or 9 months. It's nice to see that side of people, let alone baseball players in an organization.
By the way, Mark Pryor into pitch facing Austin Jackson here in the top of the 7th.
Now, Jason, take us through the, I guess it would be considered the selection process and how that works.
Which is probably the most difficult part. You know, we have, as you can imagine, an array of emails and letters and phone calls throughout the course of 12 months that we could, you know, easily fulfill 5 stories. But, you know, we have a website now, Yankees.com/Hope Week, where people can, you know, choose people or enter people into the selection phase. And, you know, I encourage people to do that.
And Jackson lines out to second, or not lining out. It was actually dropped, then on to first for the first out.
So, I mean, there's a variety of ways. I mean, there's no trick to it. I mean, as you can imagine, we get a lot of inspiring stories that cross a lot of people's desks in the front office. And, you know, again, the tough thing is to pick 5. I was watching 60 Minutes a couple of nights ago, and they highlighted a lady in Staten Island who's started this program where children who are wounded overseas, Afghanistan, Iraq, anywhere in war, she has set up a program.
And that's ground ball to second. Will Rhymes grounding out for out number 2.
Where they, you know, they get the care and the need from doctors here in the U.S. And she was one of our finalists last year, and we didn't choose her. And I watched this 12-minute piece on her, and I was like, how could we have not chosen her? But I wouldn't take back any of the 5 people that we chose last year.
Now, this is an organization decision, right? All of these, you I guess, select the process or narrow it down, and then you make the choices?
Yeah, correct. I mean, you know, we'll take anyone's input across the board. I mean, there's no PhD you take in picking these stories. It's come one, come all, and try and find the best 5.
Well, this is Maglio Ordonez with 2 outs in the 7th. And Jason, I think of the far-reaching impact. It goes beyond just the participants. So when I say that, I think of last year's story with Jane Lang, the sightless Yankees fan who we followed her from her house. Joe Girardi, I think, knocked on her door with a couple players, and followed her to the train station, took the ride with her, and just to see all the people around her, her friends and her neighbors involved in it as Ordonez comes up in the base hit. It was great to see.
Yeah, it's, you know, we'd like to think of it as a movement. I mean, the idea behind the crux of it is that other people hear about these stories and these people and say, wait a second, I can do something. Because the unique thing about this, it's not like we're just writing checks. I mean, that's, you know, obviously money is important to a certain extent in everything that we do. But, you know, we kind of push that aside for that week.
And you talk about far-reaching impact. Another major league team is now involved, right?
Yeah, the Minnesota Twins this winter spoke to us at the winter meetings and really loved the concept and asked if they could become involved and do it on their own out in Minneapolis. And I'll be honest with you, that was certainly a highlight for me, and I know for our organization, because we want to share this. This isn't about, you know, what necessarily the Yankees can do. I mean, there's people in Minnesota that would love nothing more than to spend a day with their favorite players, and they're not wearing pinstripes.
Ryan Rayburn is the pinch runner for Ordonez at first, and Miguel Cabrera is at the plate. So when does the process, when do you start whittling it down and picking these participants?
It never really stops or starts, Bob, to be honest with you. I mean, at this point, I can tell you we've already have 10 or 15 or 20 that we'd already love to you know, highlight during July. But it's an ongoing process, and it's like I said, it's probably the toughest part of the week.
Well, you actually got the ball rolling here at spring training, didn't you, with a 12-year-old girl earlier this week?
Yeah, we heard of a story. You know, we wanted to do something with the Twins to kind of kick it off, to let people know that we were doing this together. And there was a young girl here, Julianne Rodriguez, I believe, who at 11 years old saw a young girl at a party, at a swim party, sinking to the bottom of the pool. And she learned from the Girl Scouts how to administer CPR and chest compressions, and, you know, she saved the girl's life, which, I mean, you hate to ever be in that position, but you can't think of anything much better than that.
Well, a strikeout to end the inning for Mark Pryor on Miguel Cabrera. Jason, thank you. Appreciate it. July 25th through 29th.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the time. And good luck with the Emmys. I'm sitting alongside Emmy winners, hopefully.
Thank you. That's coming up April 3rd and Hope Week, July 25th through 29th. Jason, thank you. We take it to the bottom of the 7th.
Thanks, guys. Want to know what it takes to be a leader? How about just being the best? Like Ford Escape with an unbelievable 28 miles per gallon. During our leadership sales drive, lease an Escape for just $179 a month. Less stops at the pump, more savings in your wallet at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
At Wells Fargo, we love helping business owners move forward. When all you have is an idea, when business is picking up, when business is expanding, we're there for you with solutions ranging from payroll to cash management, all backed by the #1 small business lender in the nation.
Scoreboard as we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning, and flash pretty impressive stuff there from Mark Pryor in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, and Mark Pryor has really opened up a lot of eyes. I mean, the ball is coming out of his hand, not like it did in the old days, but good enough. I mean, he's been impressive this spring. He'll stay here in Tampa, pitch in the warm weather, and you never know. He could be a factor this year for the Yankees at some point.
Well, Fouté stays in the game for the Tigers. A few defensive changes, which we'll get to. Meantime, Jorge Posada turns around, batting from the right side the first time this afternoon. Jorge is singled and grounded to first.
Well, good stuff with Jason Zillow there, Bob, about Hope Week. And I'll tell you what, he's a seasoned pro up here in the booth. Be worried about our jobs.
The man knows how to work with a microphone. There's no doubt about it. You see him at the press conferences for the Yankees. He commands the room. And a swing and a miss for Jorge. 1-2.
Again, probably the last at bat for Jorge. Posada moves over to the right side. Been impressed with knee so far. Nice little 3/4 arm angle.
Gets him with a pitch on the inside part of the plate, and Jorge did not like that at all. Route number 1.
Well, Jorge's not happy about it, but he saw all pitches away from him, and then knee drops down and drills a fastball down and in. It's probably a little bit low. It's borderline. Jorge not happy, even though it's a spring training at bat. He's going to let Chad Fairchild know about it.
Again, if it's your last at bat of the spring, too, you don't really want to end it like that. You'd like to get a few more swings in anyway. Give yourself a chance. Here's Andrew Jones. Swing and a miss. Jones has grounded out to third twice in this game.
Yeah, depending on Curtis Granderson and how he progresses through his minor league game today, Andrew Jones probably going to play mostly against lefties. Seeing a lot of sliders down and in. The knee has been impressive so far.
And 0-2 just misses 1-2. Lines one into left. Fair ball. Kicks up a little chalk. And bounces into the bullpen, so it'll be a double for Andrew Jones.
That's the first mistake that we have seen from Nee. He throws a slider pretty much middle. It kind of spins, and Andrew Jones makes him pay for it. Down the left field line, right into the Tiger bullpen. A little ground rule double.
And that will do it for Andrew Jones as he gives way to a pinch runner. Ray Crummell in. And this is Eric Chavez in his first at-bat since taking over for Mark Teixeira. Inserted into the 9 spot, catcher spot, previously occupied by Russell Martin.
Yeah, the other day, our Kimberly Jones told us about Chavez and how he kind of shortened his swing a little bit to take some stress off his shoulder.
And lifting one into foul territory and into the stands.
And that's what I've seen the last 2 swings right there. It's a real short, simple approach. Had a great spring offensively from the side. Not a whole lot of movement. A big leg kick, but a short, simple swing with his hands. Joe Girardi has mentioned he had seen some life in his bat pretty much from day 1 here in spring training.
And swing and a miss for out number 2.
Well, Nee has enough of a fastball that you have to respect it. Chavez had a couple of pitches to hit early, and then he sees this nasty slider with 2 strikes. No chance. Been kicking himself about the pitches earlier in the bat that he probably should have put into play.
And that'll bring up Eduardo Nunez. Getting his first at bat of the game. Looks at a strike.
Well, you see the numbers, a home run, 7 RBIs, and we mentioned it last night in our spring training report, Bob. I really think he made this team on the base paths and how aggressive he was. Stealing bases gives the Yankees and Joe Girardi some options late in ball games.
Also hitting the ball harder, too, with more authority than we saw him at the tail end of last season.
Yeah, Kevin Long early on was saying he was one of the players who really impressed him early in camp. But his all-around game got him on this team as a utility infielder, can play some outfield.
And he misses inside again, 2-1. Crummell on second. And Nunez lifts one out to right field. That's Brendan Bosch, who's now the right fielder for the Tigers. Moves from left to right for the final out. We're on to the top of the 8th. Still tied at 1 in Tampa. The 1 run, and Freddie Garcia, the only run he allowed, a solo home run to Brendan Bosch. Otherwise, pretty impressive outing for Freddie Garcia in his final tune-up as we head into the regular season.
Yeah, Freddie Garcia, 4 2/3. He looked awfully sharp this afternoon. First batter of the game, a strikeout on the outside corner, a good slider down and away. When he got in trouble, bases loaded, Cabrera has to reach out, a soft line drive. Also showed a very impressive changeup this afternoon. So a nice outing for Freddie Garcia. He will take that into the regular season.
79 pitches for Garcia over 4 2/3 innings, allowed just 4 hits and a run. And this is Eric Werdekemper taking over for Mark Pryor. And he'll start things off here in the 8th, facing Victor Martinez. First pitch swinging, fly ball left field. Crummell is there, 1 away.
Sorry, Bob. A little disappointing last night with that rain out. We didn't get a chance to see the Tampa Bay Rays as we take a look at Martinez. First pitch swinging. Very frustrated with himself at a fastball down the middle. I said, we're looking forward to seeing the Rays. They're saying they're going to do better than maybe people are predicting that they're going to do.
Well, the starting pitching is definitely there. They felt good enough about where their pitching was at to trade Matt Garza to the Cubs. He, of course, had a no-hitter last year. They've got Jeremy Hellickson up for a full season now. He's impressive at the end of last year. 4-0 run when he got his call-up.
A lot of excitement with Johnny Damon and Manny Ramirez in the middle of that lineup. Johnny seemed to be in good spirits last night when we saw him getting some work done in the cage.
You know, the real question, I guess, is the bullpen, because they lost so many guys. Soriano, Benoit, Wheeler, as Bosch fouls it away. And of course, even though, you know, Carlos Pena, for example, didn't have a great season in terms of his batting average, he's now gone to the Cubs. They still put up a lot of runs. They were able to manufacture runs and back up their pitching. And the question is, can the veterans, Ramirez and Damon, help that out?
And Ramirez going to give Longoria a little bit of protection in the lineup, so you expect a bigger year from him this year.
And Bosch lining one to center field. Melky Mesa's got it for out number 2.
Well, you mentioned Wheeler not in Tampa anymore, ended up in Boston. I saw Okajima got sent to the minor leagues.
Right.
Left-hander who's had a couple of nice years in Boston.
I think the major leagues, the other teams, they kind of figured some things out about Okajima. So we've got another pitching change for the Yankees. And we'll take a quick break and return with 2 outs here in the 8th. Out in the inning. Guy we'll see a lot of this season before Mariano Rivera comes in, and that's Rafael Soriano.
We were just talking about ex-Rays. Closer last year for the Tampa Bay Rays. Going to pitch mostly in the 8th inning this season for the Yankees.
As he said, as he was looking for a team in the offseason because he was a free agent, the Yankees were the only team that he would have done this for, being a setup guy for Mariano Rivera instead of the closer somewhere else. He's facing Gustavo Nunez.
Numbers from last season, and they are impressive. 45 saves. Remember, the All-Star team only 36 hits and 62 in the 3rd innings.
'57 strikeouts as well. And this spring, we've seen him in a couple games flash that we've worked very efficiently.
That's the thing that I've liked about him. It's like he dictates the action. He pitches at his own pace. He's got a little different way of setting up, very deliberate. But you can tell he has that closer mentality that I'm dictating the action. Pounds the strike zone.
Like that. Strike 2, 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Swing and a miss, and Soriano, just like that, gets Gustavo Nunez. So we'll head to the bottom half of the 8th. Another strikeout this spring for Rafael Soriano. We're tied at 1.
To equip